Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Vivek Pani. I look after the admissions of Department of Management Studies for both the MBA and IPM programs. Today, I'm joined by Professor Siddharth Chauhan. He's an assistant professor in the Department of Law, Nalsar University. I'm also joined by Harshita Saraugi, our ex-student of Department of Management Studies, MBA. So today we are here to uh, give out some information on the MBA program that we have been running for the last 9 years. uh, Before we start, I would like to ask the first question to Professor Siddharth Chauhan. Uh, so, why MBA at Nalsar University of Law? If you can elaborate this for the audience, that would be great.
Right. So I joined Nalsar in 2013, and coincidentally, the Department of Management Studies was also started in that year. So even though I'm teaching in the law school, I had a chance to teach some shorter courses to our management students initially, where we were looking at the intersection between law, business, and social sciences. Now, later on, of course, we tried other courses as well. And in the last couple of years, we have started our BBA program, which now integrates into our MBA. And our intention is to teach management studies also from the standpoint of Indian politics, from the perspective of sociology, and to bring an interdisciplinary angle to the education, which normally business schools don't present. So, in that sense, even though the MBA program at Nalsar is considerably small, and as Vivek said, so far we have had about 9 batches entering. The 10th batch has in fact entered, but they will graduate in 2024. The point is that we are looking at the program not simply as a regular business school. We are trying to blend the discussions about, let's say, subjects like finance or accounting or the business environment with a deep knowledge of how society works, how political institutions work, how the history of economic institutions shapes them. And in that sense, the content of the program is very different from the regular MBA programs that students might have on offer. The other question, which I'll quickly answer, is that Nalsar was, in fact, the first national law university to start a full fledged MBA program. Since then, a couple of others have also started it. And that, I think, is a good trend. But this is also in line with the larger goals of the national education policy, which the government of India has announced in 2020, which says that none of our institutions can be monodisciplinary institutions. So even though Nalsar is amongst the NLUs and is amongst the better rated NLUs, we can no longer afford to be a single discipline institution. So, to some extent, our early movement towards the MBA program prepared us for that reality. And our expansion into the undergraduate program 2 years ago, which we can discuss in other forums, will help us to show that Nalsar has already developed a second department. In fact, the long term thinking is to also think about other departments in areas like public policy or social legal studies, and to ensure that you have a broad confluence of disciplines which are not just focused on law, but are also in the neighboring areas of law where we can develop our faculty strengths and convince students. So, in that sense, our offering is going to be very distinctive.
Harshita, why did you join MBA program in Nalsar University of Law? So, what was your rationale behind choosing this MBA program?
So the first thing that I would go to would be the faculty background. So I did do my research on the faculty and their backgrounds, where they have worked, where they have done their graduation and their PhDs from. So that was one major pointer for me. Apart from that, I also really like the curriculum. As Siddharth sir already mentioned, there's a good blend of law as well as as well as management concepts. And it also goes and one more thing was how this campus per se, the campus here is beautiful. It's spread across 55 acres and it's located in this serene place where you can get away from the city and enjoy your time here.
So, continuing the same discussion, can I understand the marriage between the law and management? Do you think it's a happy marriage? Many institutions were very hesitant about this interdisciplinary concept.
Right.
So, do you think it's a good way to begin interdisciplinarity
Yeah.
since?
It's not a problem particular to us. There are many other institutions, even the IITs, which initially started separate management schools, and the profile and the structure of those programs was a little different from their main programs, which is respectively the BTech. So very often there was a concern or an anxiety as to whether the postgraduate management students would fully integrate into the larger campus culture. And to be completely honest, Nalsar also had problems of that kind. But our idea was that the programs, even though the programs are sharing the common campus space and sharing their common resources, they're actually catering to different needs in the larger economy. So, for instance, if a student is coming to us to pursue an MBA program, they would have usually already completed a bachelor's degree. And remember, graduates from any discipline can apply to this MBA program. You could have studied history, you could have studied BCom, you could have studied political science or engineering. You can still come to us and pursue the management program. But the program itself is also open to people who are at a mid-career stage, who are perhaps looking for a different career path, looking to take a break from their existing career. And in that sense, the program is opening up other kinds of opportunities. So, for instance, we want our graduates to do well in areas like entrepreneurship, of course, the usual path of finding jobs in multinational corporations. And obviously, in the long run, we want people to be able to develop their own businesses. So, I think for since the program is still relatively young in comparison to, let's say, our older law program, that question will keep coming. But I think so far, with the outcomes that we've had, especially in the last 8 to 9 years, we have shown that these programs can coexist and they can, in fact, learn from each other. For instance, some of our faculty members who are primarily teaching in the law school also teach electives to our management students. And we also have some of our management faculty teaching optional courses to our law students. And that is a trend that we have to further customize and develop as the years go. So I would say there are questions of coordination which need to be addressed with each passing year. But so far, I think the progression of the program has been positive, and further growth will definitely happen both on the employment side and also on the academic side.
What do you have to say about this intersection between management and law, Harshit?
I think it's something that we need today. I mean, businesses are no longer concentrated or isolated in a certain space or within just one economy. I mean, one business, a law changing in, say, GDPR that just came into the recent privacy law that came was enforced in the UK, affected a lot of businesses that are working in India because their client base lies in the UK. So, this combination is now very important for businesses to be able to work ethically and also function, say, profitably.
Okay. So, moving on to this very important point that Siddharth sir made, MBA program of Nalsar can be looked at as a mid-career option also. So, why do you think we, as MBA program, require that mid-career people in our classroom? What do you think
Yeah.
is the advantage?
Because I found that even when I pursued a postgraduate degree in law, I had an opportunity to study at a program where largely people were looking at it as a mid career degree. In India, the tendency is to complete your undergraduate and postgraduate education as soon as you can. And very few people earlier used to pursue postgraduate degrees at a later stage. Now, of course, with the evolution of the B school ecosystem, the pattern has changed. And I would actually say the Nalsar MBA would be particularly useful for somebody who perhaps has worked in a particular sector, for instance, software or engineering, and is now looking to move into either creating their own business or is perhaps looking for opportunities that lie at the intersection of their discipline with law. So it could be a useful way of trying uh, to diversify the kind of career options which our own students have. But I think it also adds value to the campus life because somebody, let's say, who has worked on, let's say, a factory floor and knows how the supply chain works, or somebody who has in fact spent some time in a large organization and has been accountable to clients, will also come and absorb the content in the course much more effectively. They will push the faculty, and the faculty in turn will also learn a lot from the students who are coming in. So I don't think there should be any hesitation for people who might even be slightly older to think about pursuing our management studies program. We have had, for instance, people pursuing our masters in law program even at the age of 45 or 50 in the past. I'm not sure that's the profile that we are looking at immediately, but certainly I don't see any problem if a person in their late 20s or 30s who wants to maybe change careers or wants to take some time off and acquire further credentials chooses to come here. And as our former student Harshita says, we do have a fairly comfortable residential campus outside the city of Hyderabad, one of the few campuses in India where you can still get clean air and some proximity to the natural environment around you. And we can assure you that the academic experience is going to be very engaging. So, whether it is a person who is fresh out of college at the age of 21 or 22, or a person who is looking to change careers or try something new at a later age, the program is suitable for all of them.
Harshita, what do you have to say about Nalsar MBA being a mid-career option? What do you have to say? What are your thoughts?
And when it comes to MBA being a mid-career option, I think it'll be great because I think now that I am working full time, I do realize that at certain point your career starts stagnating. So after that, you will look for a switch. It might be within, within companies, or you might want to move up the corporate ladder. So MBA goes as a natural choice because you obviously expand your horizons by learning more about management and other things that come along, while also taking a break from the regular corporate life. You get to come out here, you live here for a year or two, you experience the campus life, and then you move on, start working with a better career opening.
Harshita, you've been a student at the MBA program at Nalsar. So, could you describe your experience as a student at the management department of Nalsar?
Definitely. So the first thing that I'd like to mention was there was a lot of diversity when I first walked in. Since I have completed all my education here in Hyderabad, I often felt that since that I haven't been able to interact with a lot of people from different backgrounds and get to know how the world functions. So here at Nalsar, I was able to interact and meet and talk to a lot of people. And as we've already mentioned, our campus is pretty inclusive. We have a lot of dedicated spaces for people who recognize with different genders, and we get to interact with them. And it's not just humans here, we also have dogs, we also have every kind of animal. Everybody is respected and loved in a certain way. That was one very big major change that I felt when I joined Nalsar. And when it comes down to the technical skills, I definitely, I'm a marketing enthusiast, so I got to learn a lot of things about marketing, be it digital, be it going around handling events, or how do you disaster management per se. Everything was encapsulated because of the one major. I'll give the credit to all these events and the cells and their activities. It's not just classroom, going to the class, waking up in the morning, going to the class, getting your coffee, finishing up your assignments, giving your projects. It's no more like that. So we have our annual fest called Vino, wherein the students are wholly responsible for that. Faculty do not meddle into that, and that is a very big platform for students to actually understand how management works, because handling Vino is like running an entire company for those couple of months. So from the finances to the marketing to the operations, the supply chain, everything is to be done by the students, and they have to do it as a group. So that in itself is a very big lesson as to how you learn how to manage a business.
So you've majored in operations and you've minored in marketing. So do you think the skill set that you have acquired here is it helping you in your day to day job of your company, your profile? How is it helping you?
Definitely, it's been a very big addition to my existing skill set. So, if I really want to get into the depths of it, I would say my people skills have gotten a lot better since we get to interact with people belonging to so different backgrounds, and everybody comes with their own set of experiences. You your horizons expand. You start to look at things a lot differently than you used to. So that is one thing. And apart from that, apart from the, like I've already mentioned, apart from the theoretical lessons that I got a lot of important life lessons here. So be it supply chain management, be it dealing with vendors, be it trying to get the best bargain out of them, or be dealing with last moment crisis. You get to learn it all here, and that is very helpful when you're trying to do a job, or especially as a marketer. You come across a lot of things that you have to handle immediately, and you're giving no notice period for. So that I think is one very big help that I've got.
Harshita, how do you think this skill set that you have acquired and developed here at Nalsar has helped you in getting a good job, and how is it helping you in your day to day tasks of your demanding job? How do you think it has helped?
So, MBA is not just about theories or textbooks or what is done within the classroom. So, here at Nalsar, I had an exposure to get out there, learn how the things that I'm learning in the classroom are actually applied in a practical setup. And that is what like really helped me out when I was looking out for jobs. So, just because I was able to understand, say, if we, for example, take the IDA model, how the IDA model actually works outside, I was able to actually understand that and implement it in every situation. That helps me a lot.
The Nalsar MBA applications are open now. We will be conducting our first phase of admissions on February 19th. On the same day, we will be conducting our Nalsa management entrance test, which is a combination of verbal aptitude, quantitative aptitude, data interpretation, logical reasoning. In addition to that, we are also looking at business aptitude of a participant. And in addition to Nalsa management entrance test, we will be conducting a group discussion, personal interview, and also a statement of purpose. So all these battery of tests will be happening on February 19th. The applications are open, and you can find the link in the description. Thank you so much.